Good morning. So it is about that time where things are growing and flowers are showing, and I just wanted to show a little update on the fruit trees. I'm really hopeful that this year is going to be a good year for our fruit trees. I got they've been in the ground now here for 3 years, or going on 3 years. And first year, some of them did good. The peaches did great. Other ones did okay. Last year, they were, unfortunately, as soon as we got these blooms starting to pop on the trees, we had a big windstorm that knocked the blooms off. So they didn't get pollinated. We had hardly anything. There was like one apple and one little tiny plum. But this year, on top of the fact that they're better established, I also added some fertilizer. Gentleman down at the Perco, they sell all kind of good stuff for farms and garden and all outdoor things like that. They recommended that I use a 10-10-10. Don't ask me specifically what each of those three things is, but there's different mixes of fertilizer, and they recommended for fruit trees a 10-10-10, and I sprinkled some of that down a while back, and we haven't mowed at all yet. Black flies are out right now and all kinds of other bugs. I don't know if you can see them on the video, but they're kind of all over in my face right now, so forgive me for swiping and wiping while I'm talking. But this is the update to how the fruit trees are looking, because they're really starting to leaf out. Some of them are starting to bloom, and I'm really hopeful this year that we're going to get some good fruit. So let's take a look at these. This is an apple. I did not keep track of what types of apples and pears and peaches and things we have. I just know that we have apples and peaches and pears and plums. You see these should be opening up soon. This particular tree doesn't have any of the blooms opened up yet. It is early today, so some of these might actually open today, but I think they need a couple more days before they're gonna open up. And then any of these blooms that can be pollinated will turn into hopefully a very delicious apple. This is a plum, and you can actually see several of these blooms are already opening, and pray to God that we have lots of little pollinators, bees and bugs and things that will come around and do their job to pollinate. But lots of little blooms opening up on there, and even if only half of those got pollinated and turned into plums, I would be happy with that. So this is where I get mixed up. I can't remember if this is the peach and then plums and then pears, or if it's plums then peaches then pears. I feel like these are the plums though, and these plums are still just starting to leaf out a little bit. I don't know if it's going to focus on that or not, but a couple little leaves starting to try to leaf out on that one. Same thing over here. This one's got more, and this has a lot of really good growth. I pruned and trimmed these up at the end of winter, and all of these that I left here are just covered with leaves. I'm not seeing any blooms on this one yet, but the leafing is really good. And then this, I believe these are the peaches. This one is just getting really full of leaves. Same thing here though. I don't see any flowers. Nothing is blooming yet. Oh, I lied. There's one right there, just one. but not a lot yet on this one. I'm hoping that it will have several buds and flowers start blooming on that. And then this one, not so much on the leaf, but this one looks like it's full of buds, lots of little flowers. So it's interesting how that's going, where some of them that are really having lots of flowers and very little on the leaves, and then other ones are having lots of leaves and not so much flowering. But this one I believe is the peaches, and this looks like it's got lots of little buds all over it that will hopefully get pollinated. Oh, our sad little pear. But I cut it down, and there were a couple of branches. There's a farm trucks coming by. Which one's that? Oh yeah, they're spreading manure. That thing is filled with some good fertilizer. But yeah, I cut this off because the whole top end was dead, and it still had a couple of these little branches, and it looks like they're still alive. They're still trying to do their thing. As you can see, I'm letting everything grow here with all the clover and the dandelion and all the other stuff that just is going to grow right now, because I want more bugs. I want more pollinators around. So I'm not trying to get rid of those. I'm trying to keep all that going, and it also helps to hold that moisture in there when the ground is covered with something, instead of cutting the grass real short. And then this is the other pear. I'm excited because we haven't gotten any pears yet in the last 2 years, so year 3 now, and it has, as you can see, we've got some buds forming, and I'm very, very hopeful that those will pollinate and give us some pears. See, there's quite a few little bud groups out here. And then the last 2 here are apples. This one, again, just like the first apple that I showed you, those little flower buds are still closed up, but I think a few more days and they should be opening nicely. And I really, really hope that this tree will be filled with delicious apples. This one, not as much, but again, the leaves on this one, it's got lots of little leaves coming out. I'm not seeing as many flowers, but on the bottom here, I threw a couple little sticks last year that were raspberries, and they're coming up pretty good this year. They came up and they're leafing out, so maybe we'll have a little bit of some raspberries on the bottom here. So that's how the fruit trees are looking right now. I'm gonna walk across and bring you with me. The sun is to my back, so it's gonna be real dark on my face. It's all right, my face ain't really all that good anyways. But what I want to show you guys is over on this far corner of the property over here, there was a really, really old apple tree, ditch apple, where basically, I don't know, deer or something pooped and had some seeds and it grew, and that happened many years ago, and it's just kind of took off over here in the ditch area. And it had a bunch of little tiny, they weren't crab apples, they actually had decent flavor, but they were really small, but there was a ton of them, little green apples. And I figured, you know, this thing was out of control as it is, so what I wanted to do was cut it way back, and then just see what it does. See if it actually keeps going and produces, or if it was going to die. I wasn't really sure what it was going to do, but here's what I did to it. And as you can see, just a small number of branches that I left. So this is the base of the tree here. Obviously I cut this, it was just shooting way out. I cut that big one, that was shooting way out. And then I cut that third one there, which was also shooting way out. And it had a lot of dead wood on it, and it was just crazy looking, with just out of control. But these leaves here, a lot of that's leafing out. I don't expect it to do any fruit this year necessarily, but the fact that it's growing, a lot of these little ones are taking off and getting little leaves on them. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start looking at that and kind of maintaining the growth of it as we go, and hopefully it will hopefully it'll turn into a good little producer, just kind of doing its own thing over there in the corner. But yeah, that was the big update. I just wanted to share what's happening with the fruit trees. And look at this. Love that. All those dandelions. It's dandelion season. We're gonna be doing some dandelion jam or dandelion honey. You can look those recipes up. Dandelion jam, basic simple concept is you pluck all the yellow heads off of the dandelions, boil them, add sugar to your liking, well, strain out the solids, and then you take the juice and you add sugar and pectin, put it in a jar and let it seal up. Not super complicated, but there's recipes for like how much sugar you should add depending on what type of pectin you use. We use a low sugar pectin. That way we don't like a lot of extra sugar in our stuff, so it still gels up without all the sugar. If you use a standard pectin, you need more sugar in order to get it to gel properly. So that's what we're up to. I'm gonna keep working over here. It's a beautiful day. We're supposed to be upper 70s, I think, in the high. So I'm gonna be getting some work done. I should have some gravel delivered for a little expansion on the driveway. Got to open it up a little bit, and if I can get a load of stone to put in the base of the greenhouse, and then I'll be able to do the greenhouse once I have the stone in there. It'll be easier to dump the stone and then put the greenhouse up over. See how the base, so if I can fill that with stone where I want it, then put the greenhouse, I can just have it dumped right in, as opposed to putting up the greenhouse and then having to bring the stone in small loads at a time through the doors. And then this driveway, getting gravel dumped in, so it's gonna just open that up. That was nasty muddy because the driveway did this curve, so just spreading that, and then the far end over there, filling that in with gravel so it doesn't get so muddy. But all right, I'm gonna get back to work. Thanks for watching. Let me know if you guys have some fruit trees or other stuff that you're doing, and if you got any questions or things you'd like to see, let me know. Otherwise, we will see you on the next video. Have a great day, and God bless.